Have you heard of treating the small intestines as part of treating addictions, or treating the small intestines as part of treating a chronic disease that is paired up with an addiction? Now, while most practitioners treat addictions and chronic disease as a separate treatment phase, they even treat those two things within the same clinic, we treat them together. That means we see the patient as a whole, spirit, soul, body, okay? And we treat the patient's addictions and the chronic disease, and we see them as of closely linked, or as having a closely linked relationship. Reason being is because of the most established gut-brain connection that's available in today's research proves that your body has this crazy way of talking, right? From the body, it gets affected by what goes on in the mind. So the gut gets affected by the brain. And we can see that the organ system that is housed within the gut, that houses the immune system, is none other than the small intestines. That's why when we look at the small intestines, we need to first understand that healing the small intestines will get the patient to go further and further and further in their recovery journey, more than most practitioners can think. Because while we're working on the patient's ultimate root cause of addictions, which is unfulfilled need for love, we need to understand that while they are battling or journeying through getting rid of the thing that they're bound to, they also need to heal. And how that healing the gut can actually help their mindset is also very powerful. So this is where I give you two main things to think about when it comes to healing the small intestine. Firstly, removing the dietary offender, because we can heal the small intestines with all these great foods and natural raw organic foods and stuff like that. But without removing the dietary offenders, you're going to go nowhere. So one of the biggest things that we see is chronic allergies, chronic infection, and chronic medication. So these three things, allergies, infection, and medications, are the most problematic things for the small intestines, right? So in our holistic clinic here, we need to first identify, does the patient have any allergens that are harming the small intestines? Do the patients have any chronic medications, which I mentioned earlier, most of them often do, because they have some kind of chronic disease that are paired with that kind of addiction. And lastly, it's really chronic infection. Now, a lot of patients will come to us and say, I've never been affected before. I've never been, I don't have it on a recent lab test and stuff like that. But what we find in holistic practices like ours is that patients can have stealth infection. So this is where we need to really blot out every single minuscule amount of an infectious agent, like a fungus, parasite, bacteria, virus, or whatever it is, okay? Now, after we remove all these dietary offenders, then we gotta get into healing the small intestine. So you guys might have heard the word leaky gut. That's where we need to start to give patients food as medicine. So supplements are great to start off, but they need to understand that for longevity wise, they need to eat actual food as medicine, okay? So stuff like, food as medicine containing nutrients like folate, quercetin, essential fatty acids like your omega-3s, your flax seeds, your blackcurrant seed oil, your evening primrose oil, your sesame seed oil, all these things. Then glutamine, like what we find in bone broth or cabbage, stuff like that. Even CoQ10. These nutrients are what has been shown in research to really heal that leaky gut. So then again, gut-brain connection, once I get my mind checked through counseling, through pastoral care, which is what I stated in the part 1 of my video, then we got to get that body to now heal as well, so that we can start to connect these two. Now, I know this approach is not very commonplace. Some patients might just treat the gut. Some patients might just go to treat their addictions by seeing a counselor or pastor, but no one really links them up together. So this is where I want to provide a platform, an avenue for you to ask questions. So that brings me to my next point. This Friday at 1:30 p.m., I'll be having a Q&A on Instagram at @cryogenesis to answer questions relating to healing from addictions, Alzheimer's, and allergies. Okay, so these three are the videos that I'll be posting up this week, and every Friday I'll be doing a Q&A relating to the 3 videos that I post up in that week itself. Okay, so please like, comment, subscribe. I say this with all passion that this free content that I'm giving out to the world needs to get to more people, because this is an uncommon message, and I believe it is the word of God for the season, that patients need to understand how they were designed, therefore understanding that they need to look for other root causes than they have been told. Okay, so the disjointed system that we are part of is causing people to die and not giving patients clarity. And in the Bible it says, without knowledge people perish. So understand this, guys, that this knowledge of the truth, I believe that it will set you free. And I hope that it will set you free for free. That means understanding this will allow you to take action so that you can move on from here with fulfillment of life like you have been promised by God. Okay, so I bless you. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe so that this message will get out to the entire world. And I will see you soon on the next video. And see you Friday at 1:30 p.m. on IG Live.